if you got a girl, don't mean no disrespect, but thoughts of you rule my world.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ruth,
And I'm China.
and welcome back to Happy Hour Talks. Today is just going to be a discussion episode where we talk about how corporations or these mega companies basically changing the appearances, the sound of many pop sensations, and just artists in general. So I don't know if you've seen Tyla's new magazine cover. I think it's like Blade or something. I don't know, but is that what it's called or no?
It's Dazed.
I was close, but she just looked completely different on the spreadsheet or the spreads. And although there were a lot of controversies with the entire photo shoot in general, I just want to say I'm low-key tired of the industry changing people's appearances and their sound and their charisma. So just seeing Tyler's new pictures really just, I don't know, it made me sad. But what are your thoughts on this discussion?
I think that I'm seeing a lot of reversion back to like Y2K and early 2000s, like golden ages. I think that a lot of people, I've said this before time and time again, I feel like a lot of the artists and their teams are kind of creatively bankrupt. So they're just kind of going back to stuff from the early 2000s to try to pull people in. Um, when I looked at Tyler's shoot, it was kind of giving like early 2000s. I was kind of getting maybe, I don't know, it's going to say like Tony Braxton, maybe like Halle Berry vibe, or even like a Nollywood vibe. Like that's the type of vibe I was getting from it. And, it's interesting because we talk about things changing, but I don't know if I'm seeing it changing as much as they're just kind of like going back to like past fashion trends and nostalgic moments from the past to just kind of pull people in. To me, I think it's kind of an extension of like there's a lack of hiring people that are like creative and fresh new creative people to like make ideas. So that's why they keep going back to, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And let's use this sample from 2001 to try to pull people in instead of just hiring random Joe Schmoes in the community who are actually creative to help create new sounds and new ideas. So
Great point on the topic of changes. And let's say the artist does want to change or have like a Y2K moment. Cool. But I don't I don't know. Like if it doesn't come organically or natural, do not force it because I've seen some careers, not pop off because they tried to go too much left or too much right and it didn't really suit their aesthetic or their original fan base. So going back to Tyler, her dancing, I'm a piano, just like her overall South African swag, that's what made people really drawn to her. And I'm really nervous that like they're gonna make her go into a different route, such as what we've seen with Doja Cat and Sam Smith and like Lil Nas X, just those kind of vibes. And again, if that is what people want to do, cool. But like, do not force, these artists to change who they are because you think it's going to be profitable, which ends up hurting them in the future. And I've also noticed that the artists who have kept, their original sound or their look have had longevity careers. Like, for example, Beyonce with her blonde hair, her dancing, Mariah Carey, Mary J. Blige with her, like, big coats. When people stay true to themselves, people's fan bases stick to them and they grow together. So, those are just my point of view.
absolutely. And it depends on the person, right? Um, I think some people have been wanting Beyonce to have a dark hair moment or red hair moment. But then we forget that what we connect with Beyonce is the blonde hair. And sure, she could switch it up for a little funsies moment, but I think she's old school and she comes from a father, a manager who is very much this is what you're going to do to get people to connect with you and understand who you are. Then we see it on the flip side with somebody like Rihanna, who's changing her hair every era, sometimes several times throughout the era. Like it depends on the person. So But I think that when it comes to forming brands, like nowadays, I do feel like they have a little bit more freedom to switch it up. I think that if they had the same hair or the same aesthetic for several years or several albums, then I think that people would get a little bored, especially with the rise of lace wigs and stuff like that. You have them willing to change up their look.
No, for sure. But like, I just want them to feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could tell when things are not organic. And this just goes back to sometimes like the Bailey sisters and their sound and their aesthetic. A lot of their fan bases say you are not targeting, your sound towards the original supporters. But I understand, I guess, of like people evolving and changing. But yeah. What else?
Um, let's see. What do you think about plastic surgery? And when it comes to the rise of BBLs and fillers are super like normal to get, and this cosmetic procedure and that cosmetic procedure, I think that I was thinking about Beyonce. As quiet as it's kept, people were saying that she got lipo, and then they were saying that she got a BBL, and then you have all the Beehive fans that are like, no, that absolutely didn't happen. And I'm like, it's okay if she did. One, it's kind of a trendy thing to do now. And two, she's had several children. And if she wants a mommy makeover, that's completely fine.
Oh, okay. So when it comes to like this plastic surgery discussion, me right now, I'm not supportive of it at all because of just like the possible dangers that comes with it. And yes, I know we want to look our best, we want to look beautiful, but it's just very, very harmful, and we've seen, some celebrities pass away because of these surgeries. And I don't want to hear a Beyonce or a Rihanna or even a Tyla, passing away because they wanted to basically look a certain way. And these celebrities, they have a lot of impact to our society. And the normal, Jane doesn't have access to the best of the best of the best plastic surgeons. So they might get botched out, like, to be honest, And even we're starting to see the side effects of surgery, which is kind of sad and really messed up. I don't know if you've seen, but her name is Winter. She was on Bad Girls Club. She had veneers done, work done, and now she basically has lost her bite. She says like it kind of came back when like a plastic surgeon has come fixed it, but she has like sensory issues and all of these stuff. So now we're starting to see the side effects of the plastic surgery, and I do not want our community or people in general looking a certain way, feeling a certain way in about 10, 15 years because they just wanted to have a certain beauty standards. So me right now, completely opposed to plastic surgery. But what about you?
I'm not opposed to it. I think that people, they're going to do what they want to anyways. And, I think sometimes when they sign to these labels, especially as like a female rapper, for example, what female rapper do you know hasn't at least gotten her chest done or gotten a BBL, a little lip filler here and there? Like almost every single rapper does. And for the ones that don't, we don't really know about them. I think about Tierra Whack or Rhapsody or Chica. We don't really know too much about them. They're not getting the same push. So there absolutely is there is a push for, I think, surgical intervention. Absolutely. Sure, people in 2003 were getting boob jobs or whatever, but now it's like a part of your plan. Like if you want to sign this deal, you have to get work done. Even for the models, they're getting buccal fat removal, they're getting a little under eye filler, a little lip filler. Like this is the norm, getting surgical intervention to look perfect. There is this push for perfection. There's this push to look like a blow up doll. I mean, so I think people are gonna do what they want to do. So I don't really care too much. The only time I have had something to say is when I see that they're trying to maybe look a different culture or something. That's when I'm like, interesting.
See,
tea.
You made
But
a very, oh, I'm sorry to
no,
interrupt.
I was gonna say I'm not mad at it. It's interesting, but I've definitely had times where I'm like, I want veneers or I want this or that, so I can't be mad.
Yes, and I think I've communicated on here that veneers seem cool, but I don't know about that yet. But you did make a great point about, these women rappers getting BBLs. I never put two and two together, like they're changing their appearance, but I've seen a lot of these female rappers get these BBLs and they are seen as sex symbols and their career have popped off because they've changed their looks. So I guess I'm just kind of choosy and picky with like who I'm like, no, you should keep your original image and then letting, people go get butt shots. So yeah.
I mean, we even saw it outside of hip hop with Summer Walker and SZA, right? I mean, maybe it's a little bit kind of feeding into Black culture. We're considered a curvy group of people or whatever, but we're definitely just seeing it become super popular. Even for the girls, we're like, oh, they don't look like they ever got anything done. They at least might have got a little fat transfer, a skinny BBL. They got a little something done. So it's real. It's like it's just a part of your package. If you want to be an Insta baddie, if you want to be this, you want to be that, you're going to get this done.
That's crazy though, because us, we have like our corporate jobs. We don't have to change who we are, but unfortunately, these people do have to change their physical appearance to get bookings. And you mentioned models, and I was just thinking about how like there are some really really beautiful South Sudanese models who before they enter into like high fashion, they're absolutely gorgeous, right? But then as their careers progress, you just start seeing like, the brands making them look a certain way or just them, I don't know, just not looking like their original forms. And it kind of is heartbreaking, but I guess that's high fashion. But in reality, it's like, who really likes to see this? I don't know how to explain it. Like, they might think it looks good, but the general public were like, she might have looked better before all of this happened. So
Absolutely. But, we're just seeing so many changes when it comes to it's like it's changes, but a lot of it is still connected to stuff from the past. This is not new, everything's cyclical, but it's definitely interesting to see. Do you have any type of like predictions for the future as far as what we'll continue to see as far as music transforming or appearances?
I think people are leaning more towards simplicity. So the less, the better. Because even with, Coachella, like 2016, 2017 kind of era, Coachella's outfits were pretty outrageous. They were very flamboyant. But now we see Hailey Bieber wearing like a normal, white tee, shorts going. So, and especially with Gen Zs, I feel like they don't like to really flaunt their money. They're really into just basics. So I could see, media, people going back to like really, really super basics. And also when it comes to music, Afrobeat, just African music right now is popping. So I can see people going towards more that route, even with Des Dior jumping on Favorite Girl, the single, it was really like cool to hear from her. But other than that, no. Do you have any predictions of what might occur?
I agree with you as far as things getting simpler. We're seeing people reverse their BBLs or wanting to get their veneers taken off, going back to clean girl makeup, people backing off of lace front wigs because their edges are damaged or they have that permanent tan line or whatever you want to call it. So we're definitely about to go back to simplistic things. I think everything comes in waves, We're going to see a lot of like soft glams. We're going to go back to that. It's like an in and out type of thing when it comes to trends. So definitely about to get a lot more simpler. And I love to see it. I think we're going to see the rise of the everyday girl, not necessarily plain Jane, but
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with being plain, but you made a great point about how there are not a lot of creatives changing things. Like I never clicked like made that connection. We keep going back to like different eras, but like, why can't we have something new?
You got to be willing to invest. That's a problem with like bringing business mindsets and like monopolization into music and art. If you're taking the artist out of it because you're just taking what's logical and what makes sense, well, now you're kind of stuck in this horrible cycle of just trying to go off what you know when you need to take risk and invest in the, I don't know, the graffiti artist down the street or the random girl doing hair in her mama's basement or something. You have to invest in those people to really see new trends.
Oh, yes, China, that's incredible. I love it. Like, even speaking of, have you seen like the bald braids, like with the designs? They're fire. Like, just seeing those creatives coming to light. You're right. We need to invest in these creatives. So.
But we have out of touch people that are not a part of our culture at the helms of decision making. So we don't really know how that happens unless we get more of us in those positions. And it has to be us that are willing to get in those positions and make change, not the ones that get in those positions and immediately lie down. You know what I'm saying?
No, for sure. Great point. I love this. And also, you did kind of like change my mind on certain things about how people should just stay to who they are and don't change. But you know, if like Tyla has like a really cool style that really suits her and she loves it, I would love to see it.
Absolutely. I like Tyla. I like how she talks, her accent. I'm like, she's kind of fun. I do want to see her experiment with some new sounds. I don't know what that looks like. I'm not saying she has to stray away from Amapiano, but I just want to hear some new sounds from her. I think that was kind of the critique by like her third or fourth single. They were like, oh, this is kind of starting to sound similar. So
no, for sure. No. Oh, that's tough because even you made a good point about Rihanna. She did experiment and now she's like Rihanna. But Rihanna has a different career compared to other people.
Absolutely.
And it's not normal. It's not normalized. So Beyonce's trying to like, sound different, but
for sure.
I don't know how that's going. If people really like it, if they don't. So yeah.
One thing I can say about Beyonce, I love how strong her voice has gotten, and she sounds more confident in how she sounds more than ever. I don't know about the actual music within itself, but at least her voice is like, to me, it's better than it's ever been.
Okay. I respect that. Yeah. I don't really, because this is going to cause some controversy. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut. But like, Beyonce is a good singer.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
But Christina Aguilera is like, always had that. But like, let me stop.
Yeah. But you know, I think Beyonce's getting better with age, whereas some people, their voices, our vocal cords get weaker as we get older. Their voices are starting to decline and you can hear it. I was listening to Mariah Carey in concert and I was like, she seems tired. She needs to sit down. She's been touring for the last 40 years, 35 years. So.
Yeah, but I think that's it for today. Do you have anything else you would like to comment on?
I do not.
Neither do I, but thank you all so much for watching this video. We see the new subscribers. We appreciate it, and we will talk to you all later. Bye.
Bye.